everybody, and welcome to another edition of Enough Talk. We are reviewing
I will
Thunderous,
follow
Acclaim.
you. I will follow you with it. Sorry.
I was always gonna go with Walk Away, Walk Away, Walk. I will follow.
Nice.
Okay, we're doing
Okay.
followers. If you're
Oh,
following along with the order that we did them in, this is the very last one. If you're a crazy
I,
person just watching them at random, then I have no
what is it?
idea.
What is it? Some sort of OCD going through it alphabetically. Like I have to do it sort
Ugh.
of by card
Yeah, I
type.
wanted to do followers alphabetically, but Paul alphaed me, and we did another one first. So we're on followers now. We're going to talk about Caravan Guards, which is 4 gold, and you chump defend, and you gain some honor. Is this better than Oriole or Sparrow Clan Guard? I think not, Paul.
Yeah, no. This is. I mean, after it's destroyed gains, so like it's a card that says gain 2 honor, and it's got 4 focus, and so I guarantee you, there's somebody somewhere that's gonna put this in their defensive dual-based honor deck because you want cards that have high focus value and gain you honor. That
Yep.
would be a mistake, I think. I guess it can give you a duelist protection, so you can put it on your come one at a time unit, defend with that unit, play come one at a time. They shoot your follower first, but chances are they'll probably just blow up your turret or have a send home effect or something like that. But still, so like I absolutely see exactly where this card is going to show up, and I'll go ahead and say that there's probably a better slot for that.
My thought was I put it on the guy that's
There's a
holding Step Behind the Tapestry.
If there's a way to consistently blow up your own followers and curse them is where like I kind of like the idea of this card. I just haven't
I think
done.
that's too greedy. I'm saying like no, okay, so maybe I'm gonna soften a little bit. So I'm playing a Sugenja Step Behind the Tapestry honor deck. I
Okay.
have my one guy that you can't target. I put a Caravan Guards down. I don't care if you shoot the Caravan Guards because I still get my 2 and I draw my card. Or I just play all my like little inexplicable challenges and stuff, and then I pass, and he gets blown up in battle resolution, and I gain my 2, and I draw my card.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, four gold for 2 honor isn't a great rate, and you don't really care about the force, but like you need ways like you can't win through honor just by proclaiming all the time. So here's a card that can help generate some honor for you, and that's fine to have.
I'm trying it. Huh. Conscription Officer. Is this supposed to be some sort of payoff for playing Ashigaru? So you cannot use these. The first thing to note, the most important thing to note, is that these do not interact with the Ashigaru personalities printed in this set.
I love that you feel that's the most important thing to know.
Okay, so
I think
the
that
most
that's
important,
that's
I
it.
got my little finger quotes out. The most important thing to note is that it does not in any way interact with the Ashigaru Sensei, which is just sort of hilarious.
So
Um,
now that we've ragged on this card, we should probably mention that it's pretty awesome.
it is pretty awesome.
With some Hachimans or with the Ashigaru card that straightens your Ashigaru followers.
You know,
It's pretty sweet, right? Like it's
yeah.
I play it, I immediately gain a thing, I straighten on your turn, so I've gained 3 for 5. That's not good. But in the next cycle, I'll gain 2 more. Now I've gained 5 for 5, and that's very solid. And then everything after that, it's sort of like really, really great. And it spreads out your followers, which is a really important thing in the format. So like everybody can get, you get a little dude, you get a little dude, you get a little dude.
You get a follower, you get a follower, and you get a follower. There was a time in L5R when you always, like, not always, but you would just throw in, like, 1 farmlands just because. Because it was a really low cost to do so, and it gave you one of those, like, stall outs. This isn't farmlands, it's a much higher cost to it, but these sorts of recursive make force abilities are really good. We just talked up Inevitable Victory in another video about how there's sort of like a Dirtle sit there deck, and like this is gonna be another piece of that deck.
Yeah, I mean this is a much stronger late game effect, especially because it's just when you have multiples in play with multiple strain effects. I mean it's easy to envision like I'm gaining 4 force per cycle just with my limited phase. It's not actually costing me any gold. And I really do want to talk about the importance of just having, obviously, they can, I don't know, standing fast or something and pull up a bunch of these. But, like, Golden Steel's not around anymore. And just if you have enough followers on your guys, it can really offer quite a bit of protection. So this is a really great card, and I think it deserves a spot in a number of decks.
It deserves some testing, that's at least for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, assuming you have the straight effect, which you're not always going to do, though I guess you could even play it in like Dragon Ability with air to ensure that you do. But like, 3 force for 5 gold. Like if there was a card that was 5 gold, then makes 2 extra followers, like would I play that card? Absolutely I would. Like if there was just
Well,
here's 5 gold, put a 1 force follower and up to 3 different dudes.
I mean,
That's a card I'd
we just played Band of Brothers, which was like 8 gold and had like a 2
right.
force guy and then made 2 more 1 forces.
Exactly.
Now that was in a different environment with Family Dojo.
Sure.
But like, there's still stuff that interacts with followers, like Gunso's still in. Like, there are ways to make your followers bigger. Not many, and they're not that great, but they exist.
Yep. So.
Fresh recruits. Okay, so here's hey, I was looking for ways to make all those little one force Dirtle Ashigaras pay off, Paul. Can we click to the next page and find it?
Yep. Now this one is sort of interesting to me because it's each other Ashigara in this unit, so I can put this card on my conscript, and then my conscript is 1 force instead of 0 force. That's what you're talking about.
It's slightly different. This guy becomes 3 force, not the conscript becomes 1 force.
Oh, bummer.
So it means that if you put this guy on one that has like 3 or 4, if they shoot one of your things with a range 1, you get -2 force on the unit. So a bit worse, but still, gives you a little bit of payoff. I like it.
Yep. I mean, I think that in the right shell, it ends up being 4 force for 3 gold, and that's just great numbers, and so that's why you care.
Even 3 for 2 is like almost acceptable, and like 3 for 3 is okay.
Except nobody plays 3 for 3, right? Nobody plays whatever infantry that is, medium infantry. So
yeah, okay.
I don't. Hirokura's Attendant. This is playing the keyword game on non-human or spirit followers. I love spirit things. So there's a spell somewhere that gives a guy Conqueror, and I talked a little vaguely about sort of an Earth Shugenja based deck, and here you go, man. You put it on your Earth guy, and now you've got a melee 3 attack on a 3 force, and that's just all fine. It's not exciting payoff, it's not great payoff, but it's enough of a payoff.
Why is this card better than Divide into Ash?
Because it can go on non-Shugenja, who also happen to have the Earth trait, if any of those exist. Maybe some Caillou guys or something.
Okay. You can also say it gives a +1 extra force, and in theory has better range attack protection. But I think that this is competing with Divide into Ash in that sort of slotting category.
Is there no scenario where you play them together? Like,
fine. This effect is so good, we want 6 of them.
Well, Divide into Ash specifically references Chi, right? So, I mean, there's maybe some 2 Chi Earth Shugenja. Yeah, there's the 2 Chi Earth Shugenja in this set. They're like common duties, like 2 for 3.
Okay. So, you got me.
But okay.
Man. Jungle
also,
regulars.
it's a follow-up from the guy, the Shugenja who puts out followers. So, like, that's a combo.
Paul, would you ever pay 7 gold for a 2 force follower?
Well, I mean, it's sort of 4 force, right?
Except not really, because you're going to engage out +2 force, and then you're going to bow it for a range 3 attack. Or you're gauge it out for -2 force, and then bow it for a range 3 attack.
I mean, I like the idea of this card because it's sort of like it's simple but flexible, and those are cards that sort of tickle my fancy. I like to see cards like that where it's not doing anything really that confusing. It's not that powerful, but like it's a setup card, and you get to sort of make those small plays, and that sort of makes me smile. So I sort of like this card, but yeah, it's hard to see what deck it fits in, right?
It fits in a military deck that wants 7 gold for 2 force followers. I mean, in its highest conception, this is like a 7 force follower, right? So in the heart of hearts, it's like you put it out there, you give your +2, your -2, and then you range 3, and you Hachiman it back up. So you've given out a force or a negative, you've killed a 3 force.
Well, you don't want to. I mean, when we talked about the Ashigaras, we talked about Hachiman. Like, you're not always going to have this one specific holding in play that always straightens your thing. Like, that's a really dangerous way to evaluate cards.
But I'm talking about the highest this card can go. Like, it's a 7 force for 7 gold, and then you're kind of cooking with gas, considering where expensive followers have been lately, which is just in like 11 gold for 5 force crazy town territory.
Yeah, and the cavalry trait really sort of throws me off because 4 force cavalry follower isn't even that interesting to me. I mean, heavy cavalry is 6, so I guess that's the right gold cost, plus 1 gold to gain a range 3 attack. So,
But I do like
I
this
mean,
card does need a strain effect to be worthwhile.
yeah. Every now and then your opponent will make an ill-advised attack, and you'll go engage, give a -2 force, shoot him in the face, and that'll make you feel really good.
It
But
does.
there's
It
not.
scales in multiples too. I don't know. Like maybe I'm being too hard on this card, and maybe it'll see some fringe play, and
I
people
think
won't like it a
I think
lot.
it's yeah, and if you're playing one of those sort of unicorn decks that have a bunch of sort of slightly more expensive samurai, and you're looking to like a more expensive attachment to help turn on your standing fast, it also sort of contributes to that. So like I can see it spotting the deck.
Now this is a card I
Legion,
will certainly be playing.
sure. I mean, because everybody loves 3 for 3 undead cards, right?
That's right. That lets
Nobody
me target
nobody
items and
played on
spells.
Living Legion. I think the only people in the world who built a tournament level deck for Unliving Legion. It's us. We were the only two.
Yeah, I actually will not be playing this card. The interrupt's probably not good enough. 3 for 3 is not quite efficient enough. And honestly, like undead followers are really crowded. Like Living Legion's super awesome. Skeletal troops with no honor loss is really awesome. The desiccated is really awesome.
I do wonder at what point there's so many efficient 3 force for 3 gold followers that we start to see sort of a deck built around that. Like I mean, we've got to be pretty close to that, right? We got to be pretty close to gold on 1 guy, maybe guy plus gold, or 2 guys on 2. Put down 2 3 force followers, attack with a bunch of force. Like, is there just no world in which that deck is good? Because I feel like there should be, right?
No, I think it is, especially now that all of those little range, all those little fear effects the guys in this sort of cost range have get turned on a little bit better by the new
Yeah.
sensei.
So somebody get Ryan Romans on the phone. He'll figure out if he can play this card or not. He'll let us know.
Let's talk about a cat. This is a really good card, actually. Like, this is a really good card.
Yeah.
Three
Is it
force. I think
really
so.
good?
3 force
Because
for 3 gold for 2 force, but then it's got a no ball melee attack every once in a while.
yeah, absolutely. We all played Kuan's Staff. That was a card in a million decks. Now it was an item, and its +1 force was always on. But like when Compassion is on, this card is straight better than that. And that was a card we all played, and it was unique. And this card isn't. So okay, I mean, I like this card.
Compassion, like the way that compassion works, that in military matchups, you're gonna have compassion for at least 1 attack, and like that's just kind of all you need. And if you
No,
don't
I
have
don't know.
compassion,
I don't. Yeah, if you
if you
don't have
don't have compassion for 1 attack, you're doing just fine. So who cares?
so, and it's a cat, man.
I'm a cat man. Meow 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 meow. Meow.
Everybody loves Catman. Is he in the new Suicide Squad? I know you've got Slipknot, Harlequin, Joker. I don't know if you have Catman. And they got Killer Croc. I think Catman's in. I know Deadshot's in. That's Will Smith's guy.
Shitomi
Leave
Patrol.
leave us a comment if you know if Catman's in. I can
It's
tell. I can sense. Jesse is pretty much literally on the other side of the world, and yet I just shook in my chair from the rolling of his eyes. Like it was a pretty profound eye roll. That was pretty good. Like you have quite some force there.
I practice, man. Give a target defending 3 -3 force. Gain 1 honor if
So,
this force is now 0.
yeah, you love Battle Maidens. Do you love Shitomi Patrol?
I don't love Battle Maidens, and I don't love Shitomi Patrol. Why do you ask?
If it wasn't give a target enemy defending with that,
Yeah, then I could get behind this card.
then you could put it in a sort of more defensive switchy thing.
Well, then it would just be a versatile card. Like, -3 is big, 3 force is reasonably big. It's a
Yeah, you would
follower.
understand it. You would say like, okay, I sort of see the place for this. I just feel like that's a little bit too limiting for my taste.
As it stands, I think that this is still going to see a little bit of play. But there's a lot of followers that give out -3 force now, and I don't know if I think there's a couple around 3 gold and like they have 2 force. There was one from last set I'm trying to think of, like that cared about movement or something.
Yep. There's a lot of we've talked a little bit about this. There's a lot of attachments that sort of you look at them individually and say, yeah, like this is okay, it's good, but they're really good enough. And I think this is one of those cards because it's just, you're competing not just for deck space, but you're competing for the sort of deck attachment space, and that gets to be a pretty competitive spot.
Yeah. Well, you talked a little bit in the items video about how items and followers, these are like things you fill out your deck with at the very end. Like they're not
Sure.
the most important cards. So like really all
Well,
you're doing is like the reason why it's such a tough grind for items and followers is that you're just looking for the most efficient gold to force ratio with the ability that you'll be in the market for. You say like I
yep.
want a -3 force or I want a -force ability. And you just look through the followers and say what's the cheapest thing I can buy that has the biggest force that I can get.
Because you're already planning on putting a lot of your gold into your personalities and into buying more holdings and just in your dynasty deck in general. And so, you can't fill out like the days of the 20 attachment fate deck, barring Jesse's love of Philippines decks. That's not where the game is right now. And so it's really like you play some number of attachments. They provide protection. They help keep your force going for sort of attacks and counterattacks and things like this. And they let you do things after you've lost provinces. It's important to have some number of them. I don't want to minimize their value in the deck, but at the end of the day, you're probably not running more than 10 or 12. And so it has to really shine like a diamond, and this just doesn't.
Like diamonds in the sky.
That's right.
I'm really looking for this other follower I was thinking about. I cannot for the life of me remember what it was.
Okay.
I guess it doesn't
Well,
matter. Whatever. Moving on.
Can we move on to the Thundering Death here?
We can
I
move on
feel
to
like this
Thundering Death.
exact
This is
card
the
has been
exact same
made.
art as the Shitomi Patrol, by the way.
I feel like I've seen this exact card before, and I didn't care for it then, and I don't much care for it now. So this is Fear 3, and if I have it on a cavalry guy, but it's got to be a cavalry unit, which is even slightly more restrictive, it then will destroy. So it's like it's a range 3 attack that can be messed up by courage.
You're thinking of like the White Guard or whatever? The one that's like
No,
but
maybe.
that blows up stuff if you're cast. This is like a strictly it's more expensive. That one was 7 gold, this one's 8. I think that one was Fear 4, this one's Fear 3, and that one blew up infantry stuff, and this one doesn't.
Yeah, so this is not. I don't have a lot to say about that. I mean, it just feels a little too expensive, a little bit too much work.
It's a little bit too everything. Everything we just said about Shitomi Patrol applies to this card. Like if you want a Fear 3 effect and some force, like boy, do I have some options for you, and none of them include 8 gold or 4 force.
Yeah, I think that's exactly correct. I just feel now it is a 4 force cavalry card, which is like it's not unheard of. It's uncommon, but there are other versions of that, and still nobody just plays heavy infantry. So
Right. We have a jillion like heavy cavalry, fearless heavy cavalry options now, and like no
yep.
one's playing any of them.
So and now we're on to I guess it's the last one, Village
This is the
Defenders.
very last one. Village Defenders, Battle Straight, and Ashigar. Whatever.
This card is broken. Let me tell you why this card is broken. First off, it's an Ashigaru conscript, which means it can be bowed to guys to make a ranged attack. So you thought you could only bow your worthless created personalities, but you can also bow this follower right here.
Seriously?
Seriously. This is a conscript. It says right.
Hold on, but is this the text box? This feels like a rules question because I need to know if the text box.
It's straightforward. It's an Ashigaru conscript, man. So I got you. I've been sitting on this particular piece of knowledge for a long time, so that I
waiting
can
to drop some wisdom bombs on me.
I'm dropping the mic and walking away. So now you have to completely reevaluate all of the Ashigaru personalities in the entire Ashigaru deck because you can also buy your village defenders to make a ranged attack, and then you'll use your spirit, your venerable spirit, to straighten your village defenders, which you can then use to straighten a different Ashigaru card.
I think it's not outside the realm of possibility.
I believe, as they said with Sword Catcher, what now?
I think it's possible that there will be a clarifying ruling that Ashigaru conscript refers to the title of the card.
You're so off base. No. Conscript appears only in a keyword on that particular card, and it's just for those interactions.
No, because the Ashigaru conscript. I mean, I need to read Hachiro Sensei or Hachiko Sensei. I'm going back and reading it. We're gonna do this right now.
You really don't.
We're doing this. You threw the gauntlet down, man. Like you did this. This is all you. Ugh, this will load quickly.
You're having some trouble with L5R.com. Is it not loading for you?
Far be it from me to accuse
L5R.com of not loading. It's because the entire universe of L5R is on my side, and they know that I'm right, so it doesn't need to load anything to prove my sort of superiority in it.
Whatever.
So
Fine,
anyway, that's the Ashigaru thing. Speaking of clarifications, have they finally clarified Jinden Sensei? Is that a thing? We just found out about that too. We're just choosing to ignore that. That's
We're
not.
just choosing, yeah.
I take it back. I didn't mention. Okay, so that is followers, and all that's left is the long slog of strategies. So hang loose.
Peace.